Now we're here. Boy, I butchered that freaking intro.
Yo,
Yeah.
yo,
Yo, yo, you and your
can you
hearing
hear
aid.
me?
Of course I can.
Hold on.
You and that butchered that intro. Damn. Yeah.
Are you running your music now on YouTube or what?
No, I got that muted. I don't know what happened, man. I was instead of being on the left hand side of the touchpad, I was on the right. So I might have I did mess something up. Then I go to the YouTube part and it was way behind. But it's all heavy breathing.
I
Damn,
just
I
got off
forgot
the phone. Just got off the phone with Jack.
Jack.
Yeah,
Jack who?
the only Jack we know,
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Jack Hobson in
Yeah.
Bacolod. Yeah.
Well, cool.
So what's happening there?
Not. I forgot what the heck I was thinking about something all day.
My
Never right now.
my wife has this good friends that we met as soon as right when my wife got here in 2021. We
Hmm.
met one of the only other Pino, American guy and Filipino woman that we knew around the area.
Yeah.
And we've known that. Well, they moved to North Carolina. This guy had all these big dreams. He was working for this rich guy, building his $5 million mansion or overseeing the project for him. But
Yeah.
I remember him telling me he had all these big dreams, owning his own business. I thought he's just bullshitter, like a lot of guys. But by God, he owns his own plumbing company, man, in North Carolina. He's doing real well. Uh,
Oh,
and yeah, he started out like working for Roto Rooter, and then like having his own
yeah.
franchise, and then just build his own company. He's in north of Charlotte, North Carolina, and just this past Christmas, I guess they only had one son and one daughter, right? And their son on Facebook, they said that their son was on life support, and he died like Christmas Eve.
Jeez.
He's like 23 years old or some shit.
Oh boy, what happened to him?
I don't know. I don't know if it was. I think he was into like drift, maybe racing or drifting. I don't know if he was in an accident. He got
Yeah.
put on life support, or if it was maybe substance abuse or overdose. I don't know. But
Well,
yeah, their son died, man, and they're of course they're taking it hard. They have their daughter, right? She's like college age. But I just saw on Facebook he said we're closing down the plumbing business for 2 months, and then I saw next thing I saw they're on a plane to the Philippines. They're going back, I guess, to, just try to do what they can do to start to heal. I don't know. You still there? Hello? 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 Tony? Yo, what happened? Hello? Hello?
There we go. Accidentally kicked the adapter.
Whoa.
Accidentally kicked the adapter. So my plug in the wall there. Then my freaking flip
Yo, I
flop broke.
thought you had a brownout.
Nah.
I mean, you dropped like right now. I thought I was talking to you and then didn't hear anything.
Yeah, I kicked the adapter that the computer plug is plugged into, cord plugged into. It's a 3-prong wall to 2. So I use this adapter converter from US to Philippine 110 to 220 or 220 to 110. I forget which one. My freaking expensive flip flops broke. I got a piece of shit left. Anyway, what's there? Jack's back. What's new with Jack?
He's just on rough times, He's
Are you gonna cure it by staying here?
needing some support.
You fucking gotta go home, man. What else you gonna do?
Yeah, but he don't have the money to go home even,
Man, that could be sticking. He could probably get that through the, what do you call it? I think they front you the money and then whatever you take it out of whatever in the future. Gotta do that. You can't be, living week to week or day to day here. As much as you'd like to stay and do what you like to do here. Damn, man.
I think he's ready to come back, but life's not going to be any cheaper here either,
No, well, the opportunity to make money, plus he mend some fences with his mom.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually pretty nice. I think yesterday got up to 50 degrees.
Oh, boy.
I was out laying on the ground. My old car that I want to restore, I got it in a storage shed, 10 by 25 garage, and
Yeah.
I was dropping the drive shaft out of it. So when I want to tow it to a real garage with a lift, my drive shaft won't be dragging on the ground because I got the transmission out, I got the transfer case out because it's an all-wheel drive car.
You don't want to do that when that front one catapult that car.
Yeah, it'll pole vault, right? So
I seen that on a video. I think it was a double axle, double wheel, like a F350 or something.
yeah.
Freaking tires went off of it, and this what was that car behind it? Like a Kia Soul, something like that. Freaking got up underneath that. It stood the car up. Turned it over. One guy didn't probably get scared shitless on it. I don't know exactly about the vehicle. It's about that size, though. Kind of small. Let me see what down here. I got all the roofing, all the metal work is done for the roofing. Just I came out today to measure it. And then probably be paying 40 or 50 for that one, I'm sure. Probably 50.
Hey,
I'll have a lot of shade then.
Are you talking
Yeah.
50,000?
Yeah. 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 Yep. Yeah. Like Groundhog Day every day for me. Don't that drive you nuts having this shitty ass weather like that? Up and down?
I don't know. Days like today, as long as it's over 30 and below 70 and sunny and no wind, that's perfect for me.
That's eternity weather.
I just, as long as we got the sunshine, that's what I like. We don't get too much sunshine here.
I always liked well, you in a valley then?
Well, no, I mean Pennsylvania in general. I
Oh,
think I saw it somewhere. Everyone thinks Seattle, right, is the rainiest city in the
yeah.
country, but in actuality, someone pointed out Pittsburgh actually got more rain days than Seattle.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we've been
probably
getting
more like British weather, depressing.
we've had like 3 days of freaking nonstop on and off. Jesus. Kind of hampers getting shit done here when you're waiting on the guy to come out and measure the job. They got all the beams up, supports and stuff, and he gets out today. Then he could, then they calculate the amount of money for the job, and then they drop the shit off, and then they come here. I was sitting inside their office over there. It's on the way out to City Hardware on Bayonne. And I said to my sister-in-law, I said, you see why all these people around here sitting here not doing nothing too much? I said, for what I'm paying, that's how they can afford to keep all these people. And one lady looked my way, Well, you've got 22,000 in labor and 21 in part, material.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking kidding me? Then I looked at the guys making fun of me like I'd never been on a ladder before. I'm up there and I look. They left a couple of screws in there. They overlapped, or they put a little silicone around them, but I didn't think that was too good. So after that, I'm gonna get the skim coat in the walls here. So maybe another month I'll be done with this. Unless I come up, I had another idea. So that's
So I
good.
was just curious, what's your normal, what do you eat normally?
What do I eat? Shit, I don't know.
Food or what?
Yeah, oatmeal in the morning and either Greenwich or McDonald's, something.
What kind of oatmeal?
I
Do you
can't
put
eat.
milk on it? Can you get milk there? Or?
No, I can't have milk. I'm not supposed to drink this soda I got either. For my liver. No caffeine, no none of that shit. No oil.
You're not supposed to
No.
have milk because of your liver?
Yeah, that fatty liver, a non-alcoholic fatty liver. Yeah. That's what the guy told me.
I never heard of that.
Nothing. I didn't either. But
I mean,
because
I
of-
don't drink. I have milk. I have a bowl of cereal in the morning. I put milk in it, but that's the only milk I drink.
If you- Well, I in the last couple of years I started drinking skim with my cereal. A long time ago I'm like, what is this? But I got used to that too at home. But here,
My
I-
daughters buy almond milk, and I usually just put
Oh.
that on.
yeah, I like that. That stuff's sweet. But if you Google the information online, what's good for a fatty liver, Coffee's in there, as long as you don't add shit to it. Milk's in there, milk, no canola oil, so maybe some virgin oil, olive oil. Because I got a couple of bottles of extra virgin in my, who made that? Bartolo? No, I forget who the manufacturer was. It was with a V. Viola.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I got because I tried the one here. They have two of them, and one of them's Dona Elena from Spain, and that shit burns my throat out, so I can't have that. But I don't know. I gotta have my gotta go to the hospital or go have my colonoscopy done sometime. I'm gonna go to the doc next week. Yeah, set that one up. Then I think I'm gonna have my hernia. I think I'm gonna have my hernia fixed.
Did you ever have hemorrhoids?
Nah, one time.
Because I think I got hemorrhoids. That's when your asshole itches, right?
Nah, not necessarily. It's like having your little fucking fingers protruding like a cone head kind of thing.
Oh.
In fact, when you sit, that's just that just could be like fucking wiping habit or how often you shower. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just get sometimes it kind of, I remember the Preparation H commercials on TV. We used to laugh as a kid, right? The burning, itching of hemorrhoids, right?
Yeah.
Now you're older, you're like, shit, that's happening now.
My wife's got them, but she needs to have hers removed surgically. But
yeah. My wife just had her colonoscopy, and they said she had, signs of hernias. But
well, I'm thinking that I might have had that hernia from birth because
I mean, not hernias, but hemorrhoids. I'm sorry.
Well, but just saying, I think I always had that because when I think back of with me running track and all these issues, it could affect your bladder. When I would go up to do the pole vault or the high jump, I would be able to clear the bar, and then the next time I come through there and I plow right through it. There's just a whole bunch of different shit.
The hernia is like right around, like behind your belly button, right? That area.
Yeah. Mine, my gut's fat now, so mine was an innie, but with all that, you're getting fat. I just figured that was that. So I went in when we went in to see the guy. Oh, when I was using roll-on, like Axe roll-on, and what's his name? Christian said, you got to watch that stuff. No shit. I had like fucking, it scared the shit out of me because I thought maybe those were lymph nodes, those swollen.
Uh-huh.
And those, it was like red, like a zit. Well, some of them would get whiteheads on them. I'm like, fucking hurts, man. And I go to the doctor and, I lift my shirt up and he's like, oh, you got a hernia too, huh? I said, I didn't know that. And you see that, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe.
It's like a knob sticking out of your
Well, no, I'm talking about the effects of it because my digestive system sucks. So it needs all the normalcy you can get, but if you have a hernia, that can affect you.
Yeah, I knew a guy at the Legion, American Legion, a black guy. He wasn't in Vietnam, but he was in the very end of Vietnam in the Army, but he didn't have to go to Vietnam. But the VA did hernia surgery on him, and they screwed up because they got to put like a screen or something, a mesh screen in there.
Yeah.
And they screwed that up, and man, he was in pain, and he was cussing out the VA for, the way they did it.
My friend's wife back in Wisconsin had to get a mesh put in her stomach because what she would do is when she ate her food, like if she had a hard-boiled egg, she'd bite off a tiny bit to taste it and throw the rest of it down. I said, I wasn't making fun of it up to that. You see the way she eats, man? How she eats? I said her gut's working triple overtime to process this stuff.
What do you mean? Should take a little piece and throw the rest down? What are you talking about?
She'd take a small piece of the whatever she was eating, and then she'd taste it, swallow it, and then throw a chunk down after that. You can't. You got to chew your food up. You figure at the time she was probably in her early 50s, probably, and you've been doing that all your life. Your gut, her stomach was. They had to put a mesh in there to hold this shit together. Anyway, there was a lot. I think there was a lot of things that back then. I'm a kid, man. Kids don't have fucking problems. Old people do. So that might have had a lot something to do with my when I would be running my track with my sciatica too. I get around going in that fourth turn, man, and the other guys would be coming, just getting into the third turn. So I got them by almost a half a track, if not a half a track, and I come around that fourth turn, and boy, I couldn't move, man. I wanted to move, but my body wouldn't move. Down, I had a teacher that he gave me more encouragement than my father. When after I lost that race, I don't know what place I finished in second, but the guy that beat me had long legs. I got shorter legs, so I could motor a little quicker. And I turn around after it's over, and my dad throws his hands up with this, just like pissed off look, like he used to when I would bowl. He'd always be throwing your arm out, and I thought, fuck you, man. And then my teacher, one of my teachers, he was there and watched. He goes, "Oh man, that was great." I said, he goes, "Yeah, but you were so far, but it was still a good job, though." He's the guy when I got in a fight in this class I was in. I don't know why they had me in there. All the dudes I knew from the streets, they were fucking huffers and just slackers. Just all, you look around you and you go, "The fuck is this?" I asked one of my teachers. I said, "What am I doing in this class with these guys?" Because I got long hair. When I got in a fight with this Spanish kid. That guy that was at my track meet, he come running in there. He grabs me, fucking like the cops used to back then, grabs me and puts me up against the fucking wall. I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "This guy started." He goes, You know better." Oh, fuck. Oh, my God. And back then, it wouldn't have been I guess it wasn't a big deal. I had a teacher to grab me by the Mr. Rupert Stitch, his name was, and he was bald. He kind of reminded me of Alan Arkin. And we were making fun of him one morning. And he heard me, one afternoon, actually. And he grabbed me by the back of the head and was fucking bouncing my skull off the table. But I had it coming, Today, they would just go, "Holy shit. That fucking be fired and sued and all kinds of shit."
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Because the guy was right. And if I went home and told my dad would say, "Well, I'd have did it too."
Yeah. That's one thing. I never saw a teacher physically do anything to anyone. In all my years of schooling.
That guy I had it coming. Well, when I was in sixth grade in Ohio, they had a paddle there. You got in trouble, man.
Yeah.
You could. Well, I was new to that shit, and my teacher was Mr. What was his name? Leonard. He had a crippled hand, nice guy, though. But we were going up the hallway to class, and some kid pulled my belt. And my belt had a little bit of it was a nice belt. It was a trouser dresser belt like they might have had back in the 40s. and he pulled it, and I didn't know it was him. And I turned around and hit the kid behind me. So I had to go out there and bend over and get like a fuck, I don't know what, man, 10 whacks or some shit. That hurt, man. But I didn't cry. But you know, that's what you got when you got out of
I
line.
think
You know?
I got paddled once. I think my
you-
parents had us in Catholic school, just first through third grade, and I got paddled once by an old nun who was the principal,
yeah,
and she probably enjoyed it. But I went into the stalls in the boys' room, all the toilet stalls, and I
yeah.
locked them from the inside, and I crawled back out. So
Everybody
like all
does that. We do that too.
3 or 4 toilet stalls were all locked. Right?
Yeah.
It's funny like that when you're second, third grade. So,
I did that.
but someone snitched on me, I guess, and I got paddled for that.
You should have been when I was laying on the floor looking up my teacher's skirt when I was in fourth grade. You know, just being a clown, and all of a sudden somebody told her, and she looked down, and there I am. What the hell are you doing? But that guy, with that auto shop teacher,
Was she some old hag?
she wasn't that old, but
No.
you know, she's an adult woman, of course. You know, I never saw nothing before. But that teacher I had in high school, well, because the books, the auto shop book was like $50, man. I'm like, fuck, you know, I'm never gonna, you know, I mean, and a lot of the Mexican kids, they didn't have books either. But when I sat in there, I probably said this to you, but it was funny. When I come in there, that was in my afternoon class, you know, auto shop, and the teacher I had, his name was Mr. Annis. You know, hot marked or kind of zit faced, you know,
Did they
rosacea.
name you after a planet?
Yeah, you know, you're and you know, we're sitting there and he feels like he can say something to me because I'm white, you know. He says, he comes in there like he's all pissed off. And he looks at me, he comes up, he goes, "You're high." Of course you think everything's funny when you I started laughing, man. I go, "No, man, you're high." You know. But you know, he looked like he fucking looked like. Well, I laughed because he was no fucking imposing figure. You know, he was just I don't know nothing. And he looked down. He goes, "How come you don't got your book?" I said, "This is before Fast Time at Ridgemont High came out." You know? And he says, "How come you don't have your book?" I said, "You don't ask those guys over there." You know, and he left me alone after that. But I was laughing my ass off. My mom said to me once, she goes, "You're high." I said, "No, Mom, you are." You know, and she's laughed. She goes, I know, don't lie to me." You know, she was being nice about it though.
I was
Like,
lucky, man. My mother was so naive. She was like Edith Bunker, man. She had no clue what pot was. I mean, I'd come in at 2 in the morning. My eyes must have been purple. And all she'd say is, "Did you have a nice night?" You know? She had,
yeah, hell
she
yeah.
had no she had no freaking clue. I must have smelled like a Colombian factory, but she
Yeah.
didn't, and she had the most sensitive nose in the world. But
Maybe she
obviously
knew.
she didn't know what reefer was.
Maybe she knew and just didn't say nothing.
Maybe, but we were sitting one time, I don't know, I was out of high school, sitting at Thanksgiving, everybody around the table, and my mom and dad had this. No, it must not have been after I graduated. They had a brand new '77 Monte Carlo, right? And a couple times I'd take it out, use it on a date, right? When they'd let me. But we're sitting at Thanksgiving table and in front of everybody, right? I mean, we had usually 30 people. And she pulls out my little pipe, right? She said, "Oh, I was cleaning out our new car, and she said, I didn't know you smoked a pipe,
Oh,
and my sister, she's just staring at me, And later she said, "You're lucky your mother's so naive. You would have really hurt her feelings if she knew what that really was."
She said that in front of everybody that was
Yeah,
there.
yeah. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know you smoked a pipe."
It's
You know,
like
because back
something.
in the day, my dad once in a while would smoke like one of those corn cob pipes, or
Yeah,
my dad smoked a pipe every now and then. So she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you smoked a pipe."
it seemed
Because
like
I
something.
never smoked in front of her. I smoked cigarettes, but that's one
It,
thing I can say. I've never smoked in front of my mother in my
it sounds
entire
like
life.
that sounds like a skit from Seinfeld or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
She
my
she
dad.
was she was dead serious. She had no clue what kind of pipe it was. She just thought I smoked this little pipe, for tobacco. Yeah.
Yeah, my dad.
But when you're talking about school, man, at high school, it wasn't every day, but we'd go sit out on the nice days when it wasn't raining. We'd have like 20 kids sitting on the curb of the high school, right? And
Yeah,
we were all passing a joint the whole way down the line of, like a dozen people probably. And the teacher, they have lunch watch, right? But they're standing back like 60 feet behind us at the door of the school, right? But you got to be able to smell. You know what the kids are doing, right? I mean, you can see the smoke, you can smell it,
yeah.
but we'd just sit out there at lunchtime and pass whoever had a joint, would pass it around. And then I had this kid. We had study hall, and he told me to sit. We were in the cafeteria tables, right? And our study hall was in the cafeteria. So he said, "Hey, here, sit in front of me, sit right here." He put a line down. It wasn't Coke. It was like the
Uh,
cheap man's Coke. It was like some kind of horse tranquilizer or
fucking
something, right?
comic, comic.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he's like, "Here, sit right there, block the teacher," so the teacher couldn't see him doing a line on the table.
Uh,
He'd get this shit out, he'd put it on the table. Just like, I guess he was thinking he was like a cocaine dude, right? But,
yeah.
we didn't have the money to have Coke in high school, right? So I don't know what the hell he was snorting, but he was a funny ass kid too. I mean, but I bet by the time he was 20, he was either in prison or dead because his mind was toast.
Well,
After
what's
snorting all that shit, I don't know what it
Sean
was.
Sean Penn said it, that the inspiration for that character he played in Fast Time at Ridgemont High was an actual guy, and he ran. The guy was he was a big stoner, and he ran into him years later. Way after the movie. The guy was just normal. He was getting an interview on TV. He goes, he was normal as anybody else ever was. Because but he laughed about it. Well, my dad didn't know it. I thought for sure he'd know, but my brother, my sister's ex-husband's mom was a nurse, and she had a lot of kids that did shit, so she knew. She had like one of 4 kids, and her husband had 4. That kind of shit.
That's one thing.
Remarried.
My parents never either. They didn't know. I mean, but they had to know when I was drinking because you can smell alcohol, right? You know.
Oh,
And
hell yeah.
but I mean, they had to know. I'd come home drunk. I
Well,
mean, all I drank was beer. I never drank hard liquor really when I was, in high school or whatever. But you definitely smell like beer, especially,
well,
you end up spilling shit on you, and you end up
you
wearing it the whole night.
like you said, they probably got fucking tired of that shit because you had all those brothers ahead of you.
But
You
plus,
know?
yeah, plus I was the youngest, so I might got away with more shit,
Oh,
But
well,
but back then, drinking beer wasn't no big deal, So
my dad almost busted me once because of my ex-brother-in-law's mother. That when my sister's going out with him, she knew because all of a sudden I'm upstairs smoking with my friend George, and I had this car seat up there. I forget what it was out of. It was a bucket seat, and we're sitting in there, sitting there toking it up, and all of a sudden my dad goes boom, fucking like Mr. Surprise, And he said, "What's that smell?" I said, "Incense." It's the only thing I can
the only
think
thing you can think of.
No, the cherry from the joint fell on the floor because it startled me. So it knocked it off, and he goes, "There it is," he steps on it, and
I'm
he goes,
surprised you didn't say, "Hey, Dad, by the way, do you have any Doritos?"
I'm telling you, man, he would have whooped the fucking no. Hey, I did another one, um, and I love this because him being an asshole most of the time. He was out bowling, and I was out ice skating in the park. The park was quite a ways away, so I'm smoking outside. And as soon as I go inside that building with the heat, the pavilion, I was like, boom! All of a sudden it hits me. So I go home. And there's a weed smoker's paradise, a sheet pan, a whole fucking sheet pan of brownies, fresh. I mean, these fuckers, they were good. And I was like a 4 by, I forget the size of it, man. It was a big sheet pan. It was big. And I ate every one but the corners. So I had about fucking 30 pieces. Man. And I hear my dad come home. He's like, yeah, he's in for me to eat. Because he got home from bowling around 10:30, 10 o'clock in the evening, And my mom goes, there's a whole sheet pan of brownies. My dad goes, they're just these 4 hard corners. He goes, what the hell happened to my mom? I goes, I don't know. And I'm up there loving this shit. I'm just, as long as my name ain't being called out, I'm good.
Yeah, I never smoked in the house though. I was smart
Yeah.
enough to never do that because, like I said, my mother did have the most sensitive nose on this planet. So eventually, she would have, smelled the weed. I don't know if I'm sure my brother smoked it, but I never saw him.
We
So, and he was like 7 years older than me too. So he was doing his own shit wherever.
we
But
we had been up there before, not religiously. I never did anything on a daily basis,
yeah.
but he never, he never clued in on it. But until that because the room that I stayed in upstairs, I had to come down in the winter because there was no heat vent up there. This house was built, I don't know when, 1920, So there was a vent in the floor though, and well, cold air, hot air rises, but he got something said to her by the mother-in-law's, her kids do that shit. And the timing was fucking boom, boom, man. He didn't come in there. He must have been looking in that hole. There was up to where the doorknob was. When he hit that fucker, it scared the shit out of me. I think he got off on that, trying to startle me. And he did, man. And he did because I knocked that fucking the cherry off, and my friend George goes.
Speaking of that, my mom and dad used to go to bingo together, right? Well, my girlfriend and I were going at it on the living room floor, right, in my parents' house. Now, and when you come up to the kitchen door, had a window, right, and you could look in. You looked in past the kitchen table. There was an opening, into the living room, right? So from the kitchen door, if you were standing outside the kitchen door, you could look through, see the other end of the house. The house was only 32 feet long, right? So you could see the living room. My mom and dad, obviously, I was a little carried away. I had no clue what time it was. She was on top of me, right?
Oh.
We're both butt naked. And I heard the door jiggle, right? You talk about both of us, man. I don't know where the hell we ran, but we had to get some clothes. I don't know how we gathered up the shit we did, but my parents come in, and they never said anything, that I'm shocked. They had to have seen, like I said, just looking in the kitchen, in the window of the door, you could see. But it was dark. We were smart enough, I guess, to have the lights out. But But
You were the
still,
Jimmy rapper on the floor, probably.
I thought, man, I, I thought, oh
You
shit, I was
you
so
didn't.
embarrassed, you know. But
Hey, did you get to have your nut that night or no?
I don't think so, man. I think that's
Oh,
why
God,
I lost all track of time and stuff, you know. Well,
this is how dirty I am. I'd have got it. I would
oh no, I
have.
probably did at least once. I was probably going back for more, you know. But I mean, because when you're like 16, it don't take you long,
Dude, I was
you know.
when I was,
You're just thinking about it. You got to change your drawers, right? So
when
I'm
I was
sure I
going
got
out
up at least once, but man, I don't know.
when I was
Maybe I was down muff diving or something, but when I heard that door rattle, oh shit! It's like
yeah, oops, breaks
it's like
over.
all the nature. Yeah, nature just turned the switch off and said
Oh,
fight or flight. You know.
that was an automatic dick shinker there.
Oh man, I but they never said anything. Not even, you know,
I,
my mom didn't even like look at me funny, and
I
but
used to sneak.
obviously we were there and the lights were
Hey,
out. You know, they're not stupid. They know what the hell goes on.
the first girl I had like that, we were at her house. Her mom had her when she was 16. She was short. Her mom was only 32 years old. Oh my God. Oh, was she fucking nice. Damn. But she knew when I was sneaking up there. She just didn't want the same thing happening to her.
Yeah.
The kid is. I don't know what happened after that. She went out with some other guy from work, uh, and she kept saying, like I don't know if they wanted to move away or some shit. And she goes, "Well, Tony used to say this and that," and he goes, "Oh, well, I ain't Tony, dude. Fucking, why don't you go fucking ask him then?" And me
Man,
and
I had just
Bob,
one friend that would hang out with his mother. She was single mother, right? And but she was the same way. She must have had him when she was young. But oh man, all of us were like, oh man, Mrs. What was his name? Oh, Mrs. Mihalik. We called her Mrs. Mihalik. She wasn't married anymore, I guess. But all of us dudes were like, man, Eric's mother. She was
yeah,
good. Normally,
she's
most of your moms were old. We thought they're old ladies, but we're like,
her,
damn, how does he have a mother that looks so good?
her mother looked better than her, but I mean, she must look up, obviously, the daughter looking like the father mostly, but I don't know, mom, she was
I
fucking
mean,
hot.
all women are different. You can see a woman that has had like 5 kids, and you're like, how did she ever have 5 kids? Because she looks good. But then you
Yeah,
see one woman that had 1 kid, and she just
yeah,
exploded. I mean,
genetics.
you can see that. I mean, I go to the gym, right? And there's a lot of young ladies, pear shaped, you know?
Yeah,
And you and I know, because we've seen women now from the time when they were young and now see what they look like now. And you can tell, man, that young lady's going to look like, when she gets
oh, yeah.
older. Like that ass ain't going to get any smaller, that's for sure.
I told the girl that cut my hair since like shit the mid '90s, I think. We had a mutual friend at where I worked in the factory, and she was doing it up until a few years later. Her friend started doing it because she needed clients, and she had her daughter was cute, younger daughter. She was about 10, and I said, Cheryl, man, you're gonna have to watch out for this one. She goes, you think so? I said, oh yeah. Sure enough, the guys over there professing their love for her, all kinds of creepy shit. I said, I told you. And she ended up having this kid with a little cutie, man. He had kind of a deep birth defect. He had to have that tube in his throat, otherwise to talk, to breathe in, or I forget what
Uh-huh.
some of this stuff didn't develop, but she said that, it was a shame too, because her daughter's a good kid, and she she said that the grandson, he makes fun of himself to people. He thinks he likes to show it off because he can do this and nobody else can do this.
Yeah.
So he's got a good mentality
Man,
for get through life.
I remember when my wife first got here, and we were trying to find, Philippine. That we found there's a Philippine association in Pittsburgh, and they had a Christmas party. So I figured, we'd go join their, association, and we went to the Christmas party. First time I'd ever been to, Filipino food and stuff here in the States. And there was this one they're probably like our age now, you and me. But this guy and his Filipino wife, their daughter was just gorgeous, I mean, and it was a Christmas dance, so she was dressed up, like not quite a prom gown, and I saw this young lady and I was like, wow, you know. And I'd been in the military and I've seen guys, with Asian wives and their kids are just normally, really good looking kids,
Yeah.
but especially the black guys, that had an Asian wife, man,
Polynesian
was just gorgeous. Yeah. But
they'll
I
find
saw
you.
this young lady and I thought, man, if we ever have a daughter, she's going to look like that, because she is just incredible. So our daughter turned out all right. So, all my wives, the Filipinos, that's a lot of the women, that's really why they want a foreigner, because they want a child, with mixed blood, and, mestiza. They want that look. And when we go anywhere, all these Filipino women that my wife meets here in the States, if our kids are with us, they're all like, "Oh, your kids are so mestiza, they don't look Filipino at all,
Yeah.
So that's kind of what they're. Plus, they like the lighter skin,
But look how Ron Howard's brother used to be in that show, Gentle Ben, I think. He was a cute kid. When he got older, that fucker looked. He had like a huge freaking cranium, man. I mean, he was bigger than mine. That fucker was like kazoo,
Yeah.
And he ended up being fucking ugly as fuck, But
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, man. I mean, when I was younger, I'd always be trying too hard. But when I got older, it's like, where the fuck were these people when I wasn't married, So, I'm like, I'm getting late in life here. I can't be doing that shit. I ain't got time, I ain't got time in my life for that crap.
Yeah, I just saw a Facebook post. There's a group from my high school class, my graduating class, and they always, if there's an obituary, most of the time it's been someone's parent, but lately it's starting to be us, the actual classmates. But they put up this one classmate of ours, man, and I'm like, wow, because he was a good looking guy, but I think he never got married. I mean, I don't know, maybe he didn't like women. But I think he always lived at home, or he had some kind of mental shit going on, And I don't know if he had some drugs, when he was days or what. But I remember because my mom was bingo partners with his mother, and I'd hear snippets of her talking. I'm like, oh, hey, how's he, so and so doing? And my mom would say, she said that he has problems, or whatever. So I don't know if it was alcohol, drugs, what, but I don't think he ever married. Don't think he ever had kids. And he wasn't a bad looking dude, I mean, much better looking than the average, but something about him, man. He was just out there.
They don't guarantee you happiness. It sure don't hurt you, but I mean, when my wife came here, it's like that Filipinos have radar, man. I mean, we went to the mall, and the lady comes up to us. We looked as she was walking. She was Filipino. I gave my wife a phone number. She said, "With your permission," she said to me. My wife said, "You don't got to give my permission if I can do that. Just go ahead." But we didn't. She just got here, so I've been waiting all the time since I started seeing her to be by ourselves, you know, do shit. I didn't want to jump in of you know, big fucking posse of friends already.
Oh man, my wife now, she has a whole posse of friends. I mean, it's like there's usually a party just about every weekend, someone's birthday, or they always find a reason to have a party, right? So,
And to walk
and
over and eat.
and she's gone on. I told her, I said, you've gone on like 10 or 12 vacations where I didn't go. It was just you and your friends. You know,
Uh,
they'd get about 5 of them. They've driven in a full van to like New York, New Jersey, because someone had a sister that lives there, so they'd all
uh,
like crash at their house and cook
that's what
food
they
and
do.
stuff. And
Yeah,
then they'd go to Virginia, same way. Someone had someone in Virginia, so they drive to Virginia. And then they'd fly to Fort Lauderdale like
hey,
every year. Her one friend got a whole condo, in Fort
you
Lauderdale,
know,
so like a bunch of them would go.
they just you know, my wife was in America, and we had a Filipina in the complex. I forgot how they met, and this chick was kind of I don't know, better than you kind of personality. Her husband was like Lumpy Rutherford, you know. Guy had no fucking personality, period. But over, here, they just show up to somebody's house. They're not in America where you call up and go, hey man, we mind if I come over? Or,
Right, right.
busyness.
Oh yeah, I know.
Well, we had borrowed a table from them for it was for the what do you call it party, the baby shower thing. And she left her phone in the lady's car or in a
You're
trunk or
talking here in the
something.
States.
Yeah. So I had a text on there. I go, well, just yeah, if you don't, she said, I don't really like this, And I said, well, just get what you can get from them, and then you know, don't don't hang with them no more. And they must have read that message because instead of getting this one particular a gift that was expensive, she cheaped out. And we go to their apartment because you can go to the adjoining apartments through the basement, and we bring the table there, and I had no intention of coming. She goes, oh well, we're eating breakfast. I said, well, we just brought the table over, just here, we're not looking to crash your breakfast brunch. So that's when I said to her, we don't do that here, man. Because you just don't know it. A lot of people seem to have more plans there. Here it's more work, and then they fit the fun into some part of the day.
I know last time I went there, it was almost 19 years ago now. It was Fiesta time, and we were in her hometown. Fiesta time, man. All the relatives come in wherever they live in the world. If they can, they travel back home, right? And the fiesta for each town. So it was my wife's town's fiesta. We were there, and we would be at her cousin's house sitting around eating, and then all these people come in, and they eat. And I asked my wife, I'm like, who's that? She said, I don't know. I said, what do you mean you don't know?
Yeah,
She said, oh. She said, everybody in the town, they just go around and they go in and have food at other people's houses,
yeah, they just come in and help themselves and leave. But what I don't
Yeah,
like
they
about
come
this,
in, help themselves, and then they talk
what
and
I
they
don't
laugh, they have a good time. And
what I don't like about that is, if me being here, there's some shit gonna be missing. A lot of people I don't know to walk in here.
right.
I mean,
Yeah.
I've already
Yeah,
had,
they're gonna walk off with something.
yeah, I've already had people on the roof trying to get in, and they probably found out there's a double ceiling up there, so they changed their mind. But because the one on the side is the one I thought about having that extra room after the fact, so it wasn't like it was. Florida has got these kind of houses with the roof line, but the extension, see before where the parking is now, it slants down. So now that I have that other part, going to be the same. It's nice and even all the way across. My sister would say, my younger sister would say, well, why are you doing all that? Well, fucking shade, man. You know what I mean? She lives in Florida now. And I don't sit in the house all the freaking time. You know, go outside, putz around or whatever.
Are you going to have a gate put in at the end of your driveway?
Yeah, they got that made. There's gonna be one for the mother-in-law to come over the wall, and I said I'm gonna lock them every night. I'll unlock them in the morning, and there's gonna be two on the before you get into the yard.
Now, right
Or
now,
the back.
without a gate, do you have people that like to walk into your property at all, or?
No, just animals.
Yeah.
The dog I had, Bobby, that died. He was only a little over a year old, and he was like the king of the lion king in the neighborhood, man. He'd be howling out these strange sounds I never heard before, and no dogs would come around there at all. One female black lab did. I don't know what happened to her, but she rubbed him the wrong way one time. He tore into her, man. And then she's yiping. She's crying, and everybody's looking. And then later on, he goes down by her house to make up to her, you know. But after he was gone, a while after he was gone, this couple of dogs came up here, and they were howling like he used to howl, you know. Probably missing him. But I don't know where he shit. I never had to pick up his dog shit. I don't know where he shit, but it wasn't on our property. So. You know, they knew where they lived. You know, dogs in America, you let them out the gate, and fuckers might get lost. They just take off. But here,
who was it that trying to crawl on your roof? Was it some local?
Oh, probably. Well, yeah. Fucking wasn't an international man of mystery, a Frenchman or nothing. No English guy or nothing like that. But I woke up and he must have had a lookout because I flipped the light on. All of a sudden I heard a bum 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 bum. So next time we were doing some work up there, I had a guy look and see if he saw anything where somebody was trying to break in. That's the guy I was telling you about. I could have bought a baseball bat at Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware carried their store is so big they rent out part of the SM store in the mall.
Uh-huh.
So you go upstairs and there's an extra. The back half of that SM store is Ace Hardware, and for whatever reason they had baseball bats up there. And they had like 4 boxes of them. I never bothered with it, but that's about as much of a weapon as I would, you know, be able to handle here, because can't handle guns or knives. But I've never read nothing about a bat, baseball bat. 'Cause I'm clubbing, man. I ain't fucking around, you know.
Problem is you defend your place, and then you're the one going to end up in jail assaulting a local.
Hey, listen, around here though, the cops go, you know, you remember when you were a kid, if you were wrong, you were wrong. And that was all there was to it. Didn't matter what started it, you know. And cops, you know, down well, at least up in Manila, they go, Angeles would say, yeah, this guy hit me on my motorcycle. And they didn't tell him the whole story where he tried turning around in front of the car once the light turned green, instead of setting themselves up to go through the middle of the road, you know, right in front of your car. And the cop, they viewed luckily for him, there was a CCTV. They viewed that camera, and the cops were pissed at that lady. And then the dude paid her hospital bill anyway. Fuck that, not me. I wouldn't have did that. Anyway, what do we got? Who is that? Or even? I just dread even having to get on a plane to go. I hope I never have no, you know, serious issues. Cause I went to this place like it's for, probably no better than putting Epsom salt in hot water, but, um, this place, you put your feet in there, only like 2 hours, yeah, 1 hour or 2 hours. And then it helped get rid of some, sugar I had. That's like 600 a pop, you know? So after 3 weeks, then I just do it twice a month. Ow, man, I tell you what, I gotta have my pillows just right. A lot of times I don't like moving them pillows for nothing when I'm on that bed. But I got some backup cash for that. And the lady was telling me the female owner, they're older folks, they're older than us, I think, a little bit. And she used to be a doctor, and I'm talking about all these issues I got, and she sounds like like she worked at McDonald's or something. I mean, it didn't seem like she was understanding what I was saying. She says, if you ever need to have heart surgery, you should either go back home and or go up to Cebu, Changhua Hospital or something. But I mean, if it was an emergency, then I'd have to do it where I'm at. But if I had a little time involved, I would just take it back home and get off the plane and take the taxi from the airport and take me to the hospital. The one thing I learned is that the doctors, even back home, you make the rounds. You all get to make money out of it before you get to the main thing, So hopefully I won't even have to deal with that. But I'm going on that oatmeal diet and see what happens.
Oh yeah, I think I told you last week. Remember when we were on? I said later in the day I got to take my daughter for a driver's test.
Yeah.
Well, she passed. So I'm done being a driving instructor. That's my youngest. She's the last one.
How old's your youngest kid?
17 and a half.
They're still at home, right? How many kids
she's still in high school.
How many kids you got at home school?
Well, my son's off in Florida college. He won't even be coming back this summer because he's got a year lease on his apartment. So he's going to go to summer school this summer. Then he's transferring to another Florida university after this one because he's going for computer science, but
they don't have his major there.
Well, where he's at right now, it's tied in with the School of Engineering. So he's got to take all the math that an engineer has to take.
Yeah, right.
He doesn't want to have to do that anymore. He's got a good bit of math, but he's transferred to a school where computer science is not associated with the School of Engineering. It's its own entity.
Oh.
So he's going to be transferring schools next fall. And I told him, I said, you're in your second year there. Why don't you just establish residency? You have an apartment lease, right? And
right.
I mean, then you get to pay in-state tuition instead of out-of-state tuition, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm like, look at all the people come into Florida for free from their countries, How do they establish residency? They get driver's licenses.
You get that? Yeah.
I'm like, you've got a legitimate apartment where you've lived there, and you can go and get a Florida driver's license and say, okay, now I want to pay in-state tuition instead of out-of-state. So,
is it a big difference?
It's a little bit. Of course, it's more expensive to be out of state, So, but anyways, he's 20, he's going to have to figure it out himself. So, and then our daughter, to graduated college, she's been working in her software engineering job for 3 months. She's living at home here, but She works, 5 days a week, drives into the city, works her 9 hours. Well, she gets an hour for lunch, so it's her
So you
9 to 5 job.
Are you coming here this summer? Your summer?
No, I should. My wife and 2 daughters are going to Europe.
Yeah.
Go the
There
other
you
way.
go.
But
Well, yeah, I mean, couldn't
They're
be for
just-
money.
they're going for 11 days. So,
Boy, they get the jet set, huh?
yeah. So, no, probably not this year. Maybe the following year. I mean, once my daughter, our youngest one, graduates from high school, I don't know, man. Of course, my wife doesn't want to leave her kids. She wouldn't want to go to the Philippines. That's the thing. The reason I live in a mobile home, right? And the reason I did that was that I wouldn't have big, expensive roots tied here. So when I retire, I could go to the Philippines. You know what I mean? I thought about that way back when my wife and I got married. Of course, I was still paying child support for, 3 kids. And then we had 3 of our own. So I figured all I can afford is live in a mobile home, right? So that's what I did. Paid it
You
off.
rented it? You rented
What,
or
the
owned?
mobile home? No, I just pay lot rent. I own the mobile home. I just pay
Yeah.
lot rent. So
Yeah.
I figured that way, if I want to just pick up here, retire in the Philippines, I don't care what I get for selling this thing, If I got $5,000, I'd be happy. Hey, take it.
Have you put on a regular roof, a house roof on it? Most people do that here, or
It's got
Wisconsin.
shingles.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
got
separate
shingled
roof. It's a framed roof on top of the mobile home roof.
Well, no, there's the people that do get the roof redone here in the mobile home park.
Yeah.
They have this steel they just put down. They lay 2x4s, long ways, nail them
Yeah.
to the existing shingled roof, and then they just put like interlocking metal things. Call that a roof job, and it suffices. But
Yeah,
I'm not going to put any more money really into this place because, like I said, from the time I got it, I just didn't want to have a whole lot of money in a residence. I wanted to put my money in a retirement fund and, live well under my means,
I know a girl that had one. I went over a couple of times. She had one and had it paid off. And all these people were all like, "Oh, you should have a regular house, this and that." But she don't have any bills other than utilities.
Tony, I pay $15 a year property tax. Okay, that's better than the Philippines almost.
Yeah, it's less than me. You get 100 and something.
I just rent the lot. I pay, for rent. I have an electric bill and a gas bill because I have heat.
How'd you like
But
to have a $60,000 house and 690 square meters lot, and your taxes be like $128?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, but all these people, they live in a, big old house, but they both have to work. They're putting out a couple grand in a mortgage every month,
You don't got a
and
basement
then
there, do you?
property, huh? No, not in a mobile home.
My uncle bought a mobile home with a basement underneath it.
No, well, that's a manufactured home on property,
And they're up north, Wisconsin. That's a hunting area,
Yeah.
You have a few neighbors. Michigan's got a better deal than Wisconsin. But, they got a way better deal up there.
But I'd rather eat good, and put some money away and be able to pay for my kids' college than live in a big old $500,000 home that, none of us can stop working because we couldn't ever afford to stop, So
Yeah, when I thought about if there was ever a third time, I thought, well, the prices went up $100,000 too much for me, because at my age it's stupid. Buy a house now, but You got something that's paid, you don't expect to get any more than, 30 grand for it. Who cares? I mean, you save more than
Yeah.
that throughout the years, That's called having a plan.
And the older you get, you accumulate so much shit. It's like you had to sell off and give off how
Dude,
much shit just to leave.
You're gonna find out how much stuff. It's gonna be a lot more than you ever thought.
Yeah, I know.
Little here, little there, man. You're like, there ain't much in here. And you start to get out of there. All right, man. I'm gonna cut the cord here.
Okay, do you already take your sleeping pill?
Yeah. Well, I gotta get him take that wife to church and have my son go to.
I did find out about my daughter. I don't have to claim her social security on my taxes.
She
No,
does.
she got to file her own tax and then claim
Yeah.
it. So
And
that's a lot big for me. Instead of owing like $4 grand in taxes this year, I only owe 1.5. So
Only,
good.
only because she's working. If she weren't working, she wouldn't have to do that, according to what I
Right.
read.
Well, I don't know. It's over. I think anything over 14,000, you have to. So she got more than that in Social Security. So
Oh, my kid's 9
she'd
years
have to
old.
claim it.
My kid's 9 years old. I don't know what age you expect them to start paying. 16 or 18? Probably 18.
Yeah.
You have to pay taxes. Well, I don't know. Well, in the United States. Well, because look, you get a job here and you work. Even if you have a family business and somebody gets it, all you got to do is get a BRR certificate. It doesn't matter who gets it.
Yeah.
Oh, do you work over there? Nah, I don't do nothing.
Right.
I hope I'm around when it comes time because otherwise I don't want it to get missed.
Yeah.
But that was my purpose of doing all of this. So
Yep.
I'm good.
All right.
I've learned that I don't need to get another car every 6 months.
Right.
All right.
All right. Have a good week.
All right,
Next
maybe
time.
see you next week.
All right. Later. Bye.
Later.